What's going on, everyone? My name is Jake. This is Where I Talk Tunes, and today we're back to talk again about Palestine, and we're back to talk about the silencing of artists. And this is going to be a fun video, kind of like the last couple that I've made on this channel. I don't really tend to make a lot of videos on this channel anymore, but I feel like I really need to talk about this, because what we're seeing again with artist censorship is beyond appalling. It's beyond abhorrent. It's beyond horrific. Now, Kneecap being censored and being removed from the airwaves is nothing new. That's kind of always been the case. Arlene Foster always wanted to fucking, police them. Kneecap being policed politically for their stance and for their views and for their language has kind of never been something that's entirely newsworthy in of itself. It's kind of always been the case. However, it's now beginning to trickle down into other Irish artists, and it's now beginning to trickle down and hurt other Irish performers and other artistic expressions coming simply because they are Irish. Because for those that don't know, CMAT's newest single, Euro Country, absolute screamer by the way, was played as, I believe, Jack Saunders' hottest record on Radio 1 on Tuesday, which is the day it came out, I believe, Monday or Tuesday. And in the 40-second intro to that song, CMAT sings a little intro, and it's in Irish. And that 40-second intro to the song was cut from the BBC's playing of this song. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's radio versions to songs. If songs have long intros, that's fair enough. If you've got like a minute or a 2-minute intro, the radio, just for the sake of keeping it fresh and keeping it snappy and keeping it moving, we'll cut that out, and you'll have radio versions that will maybe trim sections or remove sections, or an extended outro will be cut down, things like that. And yeah, that's fair enough. But it's a 40-second intro, and she's singing in it. It's not like it's a weird, ambient, elusive sort of dreamy number that doesn't really add anything to the song. It is part of the song. It is lyrics to the song. It is part of the foundation of this song. But because it's in Irish, it's been removed. And yeah, if you're on that side and you're a defender of this, you could say, well, it's not that deep, it's an English-speaking radio station or an English-speaking country. Why would that get airtime when the listeners probably won't understand it? But then I would raise to you, Gangnam Style would have got airplay back in the day. Despacito. Bad Bunny is one of the biggest artists in the world. I'm fairly sure he's been played a bunch of times on there. Let's take it off Radio 1 and let's go to like a Radio 6 or something like that. Gweno had a Mercury Prize nominated record sang almost entirely in Cornish. That would have got some BBC radio airplay. We look at all of these massive artists from around the world who have big breakthrough hits in countries like England and the UK and America, and they may not be in English, but look at all these songs. Fucking Danza Kuduro from fucking Fast and Furious 5, Fast 5, that was all over the fucking radio 10 years ago. So what makes the start of Euro Country different? What makes the beginning of this song any different to anything like that? It's the fact it's in Irish. It's nothing but the BBC's attempt to once again police music and politically intimidate Irish musicians to fall in and become this sort of homogenous, anglicised version of themselves. It's for no other reason than intimidation and scaremongering. What possible fucking reason do they have for cutting this out of the CMAT song other than that? I can guarantee you there is very, very little chance that someone is going to listen to CMAT, hear a couple words in Irish and go, I wonder what other Irish music there is, discover Kneecap, and then fucking start walking around holding I Support Palestine action fucking banners and get arrested and put in jail for 14 years. It's a fucking pop song on the pop radio. At the very least, it is utterly tone deaf and bullshit, and at the very most, which it absolutely is, it's a gross overstepping of power in an attempt to silence Irish artists and solidarity with Palestinian people. That's exactly what this is. This is an excuse to use their powers to take eyes off of Palestine and to silence the voices of the people that support Palestine. Bob Vylan have been taken off of tours. Bob Vylan have been removed from festivals. Kneecap have had the same things happen to them. Liam Oak was facing a fucking terror charge, and this is now trickling down into artists who are completely out of that super political sphere. This is trickling down into artists who are so far removed from that side of the culture and that side of everything. And that's not to say that what CMAT's doing isn't incredible. I fucking adore CMAT. And that's not me saying that just because she isn't, one of the she isn't out there and being as vocally pro-Palestine as acts like Bob Vylan and Kneecap is a bad thing. It's absolutely not. But she is in a less kind of raucous space and a less politically active space in music. Now, that's not to say again that she doesn't use her voice for good. She does, but the fact that they have used what is happening with Kneecap and what they are continuing to do to Kneecap to trickle on down through to these artists is horrible. And again, Kneecap have had songs played on Radio 1. Kneecap have had Hottest Records. I'm fairly sure Better Way to Live and Fine Art got the hottest record and got played on mainstream Radio 1 primetime airwaves. So the issue isn't the Irish language being on the BBC. The issue is the time that the Irish language has been on the BBC. And to me, I can't help but feel the thing this evokes in my mind, and the memory that this evokes in my mind, is what the BBC used to do to Irish voices during the Troubles. The BBC used to get English voice actors to read over statements and quotes from your Gerry Adams and your Martin McGuinnesses and things that were said by the IRA on the airwaves and messages from the IRA and people in Sinn Féin and politicians and Irish politicians throughout that time. All I am feeling is that. It's Orwellian and it is horrific. We're a ballhead away from them having Anne-Marie fucking cover CMAT songs just so we don't have to hear an Irish voice on the radio. This news was also very, very closely followed by the fact that Kneecap will not be performing at Seagate because Hungary have banned Kneecap from entering the country for 3 years. Let me just get the statement and let me read that. So the statement from Kneecap regarding this reads: "To the tens of thousands of fans who we are buzzing to see in person at Seagate, we're sorry we won't be with you. The authoritarian government of Viktor Orban say we pose a national security threat, which is fucking outrageous coming from a man who welcomed Netanyahu, a wanted war criminal, like a hero a few weeks ago. There is no legal basis for his actions. No member of Kneecap has ever been convicted of any crime in any country. We stand against all hate crimes, and Kneecap champion love and solidarity as well as calling out injustice where we see it. It's clear this is political distraction and a further attempt to silence those who call it genocide against Palestinian people. Much like the good people of Budapest who defy their own president's ban on their Pride Parade in June, will fight for what is right. Free Palestine, Chucky Arla, fuck Viktor Orban." It's so obvious what this is. Well, not just with the Kneecap situation, but the CMAT situation as well. It is a disgusting attempt to silence voices of... It's a disgusting attempt to silence voices of opposition. It's a disgusting attempt to silence voices of support for Palestine. It's a disgusting attempt to only amplify far-right voices, because that is all this will do. When you police the legitimate concerns of people watching an active genocide happening, when you police people speaking on that, and when you police the outrage, the obvious and very evident outrage that should happen with every single picture we see and every single time we scroll through our phone. It takes everything for me not to throw my phone across the wall, because every time I'm scrolling I see something horrific, but I force myself to look at these things on a daily basis because I cannot become desensitized to this, because becoming desensitized to this is awful. We are watching a fucking genocide unfold before our eyes, and the British government and the fucking Hungarian government and the American government and every single fucking government only want to punish fucking musicians or ordinary people holding signs. It's disgusting, it's disgraceful. And again, what this ultimately boils down to is this will trickle down, and this will affect other artists. This will impact Irish artists. This will impact Irish art. This will stop a lot of Irish artists from making money. Let's just pick Jordan Aratunji, in a completely separate space, on a completely separate area of music, completely detached from this scene, making incredible music. But what's to say his music stops getting played on the radios? What's to say that the BBC starts saying to Radio 6, I know you just premiered the new Mary Williper song, don't be fucking doing that anymore. What's to say that sprints are going to sprints bookings are now going to dry up because of this? One of the biggest bands in the world is Irish, and they've got songs with song titles in Irish. But again, it's going to trickle down. It's going to affect everyone. It's already affecting fucking pop music. Yeah, it's awful what's happening, and we are every day living in a fucking dystopia. But that's my thoughts on it. That's my thoughts on all the bullshit. That's my thoughts on what's going on. It's a disgusting thing that the BBC did, and as well, I should mention, I don't think I mentioned it yet, obviously CMAT had no say in it. And CMAT wasn't aware of the fact this was going to be happening. So, yeah. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Yeah, I just had to get this off my chest. It's been awful, and at least some good news from the last couple of weeks is that a lot of artists have came together to form like a pro-Palestinian union, like Kneecap Fontaine's DC, Massive Attack, a few other artists, and I'm going to leave the links to there, to where you can find stuff for those artists and the pro-Palestinian alliance or whatever. I can't remember the exact word now, but I'm going to leave stuff for that there in the comments. I'm not going to leave my links or anything. It just kind of feels weird and gross to leave my links in the comments. What I'll do though is I will link to CMAT's music. And I'll link to Kneecap's music. And I'll link to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. Okay? Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.